Okay, let's unpack this. Day one of the 47th Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black is done and dusted. And, well, pretty much delivered everything we expected, didn't it? High drama, some crushing results, European dominance early on, and maybe the most high-security, celebrity-packed atmosphere we've ever seen at one of these things.
It was pure theater, absolutely. But the storyline, well, it's pretty clear already. Our mission here today for this deep dive is really to get past those first headlines. We need to dig into the daily report for day two. How did Europe actually build this commanding lead? What choices, what tactics made it happen? And maybe most importantly, what on earth does the collapse of the world number one mean for the U.S. going forward?
Right. And that scoreboard tells a story we've seen before. Unfortunately for the U.S., Europe leading 5.5 to 2.5. That's a 3-point gap.
Yeah.
Puts the U.S. under immense pressure right away. It feels a bit like Rome in 2023, that fast European start.
It does, yeah. It's more than just points. It's a huge psychological edge. And if you really break down the sessions, you see that entire lead, that 3-point cushion, it was all built in the morning foursomes. Europe went 3-1 in alternate shot. So by lunch, it was already 3.5 to 0.5.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah. We know Europe's historically strong in foursomes, but you have to look at why. The source material really points fingers at Captain Keegan Bradley's strategy, saying basically imploded.
Okay, so the report digs into his choices. He leaned on the veterans, right? Thomas, Henley, English, Morikawa, the experienced guys for the morning. Why didn't that work? You'd think experience would count here.
Well, the criticism is that maybe he prioritized reputation over recent form, or maybe just didn't find the right foursomes chemistry. The report uses the word backfired. Pretty strong language. I mean, look at Scheffler and Henley. They got absolutely hammered, 5 and 3. Didn't even make it to the 16th tee. Exactly. It wasn't just a bit of bad play. It feels like a tactical mistake that handed momentum straight to Europe. And it's so hard to recover when alternate shot, which should be about steady play, goes sideways that fast.
Right, and you contrast...
Oh, definitely. A crucial sign of life. Stopped it from being a total blowout on day one. But, Europe just kept hitting back. That's what maintained the gap. Rahm and Sepp Straka got a win. And then McIlroy and Fleetwood them again, they grabbed another point.
Those two are relentless.
They really are. And maybe the sneakiest crucial moment was that last match. Åberg and Fitzpatrick managed to have their match. If the U.S. had won that one, the lead shrinks to 2 points. That half point felt massive for keeping Europe comfortably ahead.
Okay, so that sets the stage. But now we need to talk about probably the biggest single shockwave from Friday.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting and frankly pretty concerning for the U.S. world number one, Scottie Scheffler. His performance wasn't just off, it was historically bad for someone at his level. He lost twice. They weren't close.
Losing 5 and 3 in the morning with Henley, then 3 and 2 in the afternoon, this time with J.J. Spawn against Rahm and Straka. For the guy who's dominated golf all year, losing twice in one day like that,
yeah,
it's almost unbelievable.
It really is, and it forces a massive question for the U.S. side, doesn't it? How does your team dynamic shift when your leader, your undisputed top player, goes 0 and 2? And it actually extends his overall Ryder Cup winless streak now to 6 straight matches.
6 matches without a win. Wow.
Yeah. That kind of pressure, that negativity, it can spread through a team room, It puts immense strain on everyone else. The confidence just takes a huge hit.
And the report put this into some serious historical context, too, didn't it?
It did, and this really shows the magnitude. Scheffler joins Tiger Woods, who did it twice, in 99 and 02, and Ian Wisnam back in 91. They're the only world number ones ever to lose 2 matches on the opening day of a Ryder Cup.
That's not the company you want to be keeping.
Not at all. When your absolute best player struggles that badly, the captain's game plan is suddenly in tatters, the anchor's gone, confidence is shaky, and now everybody else feels like they have to play hero golf just to stay in it. Yes, DeChambeau and Thomas got that vital point, but the sheer weight of Scheffler's 0 and 2 day just hangs over everything.
And all this pressure, this need for focus, it was happening in quite an environment, wasn't it? Let's talk about Bethpage Black itself, the People's Country Club.
Oh, the scene was intense. Over 40,000 fans there. The noise on the first tee apparently hit 100 decibels. You had the whole show, flyovers, DJs, comedians doing intros, really trying to ramp it up.
Yeah, but I saw something in the notes about weird music choices. Like they played Sweet Caroline and Take Me Home Country Roads to pump people up.
Yeah, apparently that kind of fell flat. Reports said it actually drained some energy, which is kind of funny. A strange oversight for such a big production.
Huh, yeah. But still the crowd was intense. Partisan.
Fiercely partisan, yeah. And they definitely picked their target. Rory and McIlroy got quite a bit of specific heckling chance. The full New York welcome, you could say.
But Rory seemed to handle it. That's classic Ryder Cup stuff.
He absolutely did. Answered with birdies, big fist pumps, apparently laughed a lot of it off. He called it New York toughness. That back and forth, the player feeding off the crowd's energy, even negative energy, that's often where Europe finds an edge.
Right, and Shane Lowry got involved too. Though maybe too involved at one point.
Yeah, Lowry acknowledged the fans after a great shot, gave them a salute, but then, yeah, there was an incident where a fan actually yelled during his swing, required security to step in. It suggests maybe a slightly less restrained crowd this year, or maybe just louder.
Okay, and then there's the whole logistics and VIP side of things. This seems to have really shaped the experience.
It really did. First off, ticket prices were sky high, like $750. Some reports suggested that maybe led to a slightly more restrained crowd overall compared to, say, the wildness in Rome. But still, the beer tents were packed. Lots of USA chants. Getting in, though, that was another story.
That's what I saw. Major problems with shuttles, people having to walk.
Yeah, shuttle chaos, bus issues from Farmingdale. Some fans apparently had a 30-minute walk just to reach the entrance. That kind of hassle before you even get inside, it adds a layer of frustration, doesn't it?
Definitely. And then you had the VIP factor, specifically former President Trump being there.
Exactly. His presence meant intense security. We're talking TSA-style screening, drones, security dogs. It reportedly slowed down entry significantly for everyone. It just changed the whole vibe getting onto the grounds.
And he was pretty visible. Watched from a secure box. Greeted players.
Yep, watched from a bulletproof glass enclosure, mostly, but did come out, got big cheers, apparently did a little dance to YMCA, and greeted Bryson DeChambeau. And you couldn't miss the visual element. Lots of red, make golf great again, hats reported in the crowd. It definitely brought a political dimension right onto the course.
So it wasn't just a golf tournament atmosphere.
Not entirely, no. That political and security overlay felt, well, unique for a Ryder Cup. And it raises that interesting question you mentioned earlier. Does all that distraction, the heavy security presence, the slow entry, the focus on VIPs, does that maybe affect the U.S. players who are already feeling the pressure differently than the Europeans?
Interesting point. And there were other celebs too, right? Besides Trump.
Oh, yeah, the usual mix. Michael Jordan was apparently involved with the Celebrity All-Star match. Eli Manning sank a putt. Colin Jost apparently hit a terrible chip shot. Good fun there. Plus, that little rumor mill was churning about Tiger Woods maybe acting as a behind-the-scenes advisor for Captain Bradley.
Always rumors around Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay, so quite the spectacle off the course. But back to the golf. U.S. down 5.5 to 2.5. Day 2 is looming.
Yeah, the focus has to snap right back to the matches now. And for the U.S., the task is just massive.
So what does it all mean for strategy tomorrow? What do they have to do?
Well, the stakes are incredibly high for Saturday morning. They simply must win that foursome session. They can't afford to fall further behind. And Captain Bradley's clearly recognized this. He's shaken up the pairings significantly, trying to inject some new energy, maybe hoping DeChambeau and Spahn can build on their afternoon performances.
A big shuffle then. Risky, maybe. Let's look at those morning pairings. They start early, 7:05 Eastern. These feel huge.
They are absolutely pivotal. Match 1. McIlroy and Fitzpatrick for Europe, a solid pairing against Morikawa and Scheffler for the U.S. That's a heavyweight clash right there. European synergy versus, American firepower. If the U.S. can somehow grab that first point, it could change the whole mood.
Okay, match 2.
You've got the fiery Spanish duo, Rahm and Hatton, against Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns. Interesting that Bradley kept Cantlay Burns together after their afternoon loss. Banking on sticking with it, maybe?
And the third match. This looks intense.
This is the real pressure cooker. Hovland and MacIntyre for Europe against Scottie Scheffler, paired again with J.J. Spahn. Bradley's giving Scheffler an immediate chance at redemption, but wow, the pressure on that match, especially on Scheffler, is immense if he loses again.
Yeah, the narrative is set if that happens.
Yeah.
And the final match.
This one could be fireworks. Europe's young star Ludwig Åberg with the foursomes machine, Tommy Fleetwood, they're up against the U.S. power pair, DeChambeau and Justin Thomas. That's precision and consistency versus just raw power and clutch play. What a matchup.
So the U.S. realistically needs, 3 points from that section?
Minimum. 3 points minimum to make the afternoon four balls truly competitive. Anything less, and it looks like a mountain that's just too high to climb. The good news, at least, is the weather looks decent. Partly cloudy, maybe 70 degrees Fahrenheit, light wind. Greens are receptive after some rain Thursday, so conditions are there for good golf. The pressure, though, that's another story.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive for now. The big picture. Europe stormed ahead thanks to dominance and foursomes, exploiting some U.S. tactical errors. The U.S. is reeling partly due to the shocking, historically poor start from world number one Scottie Scheffler. And all this played out against the backdrop of Bethpage placking, intense crowds, logistical headaches, and this really unique, high-security, VIP-heavy atmosphere.
Exactly. And maybe the thought to leave you with as you settle in for day two is this. We know the U.S. team needs laser focus, perfect execution to get back in this. But you have to wonder, how much does that specific Bethpage environment, the visible security, the delays, the drones, the bulletproof box, all that stuff, how much does that fundamentally change the type of pressure the players feel? Is it different, maybe harder to block out than the pressure at previous Ryder Cups? Is that extra layer of distraction, especially for the home team, just too much to handle when you're already trying to claw your way back? Something to keep an eye on tomorrow.